Hey everybody, this is Trevor Hall. I'm sitting here with David Cole. He's the CEO and president of EMX Royalty. David, it's great to be in your office and get chit-chat with you a little bit.
Thanks for coming by today. Always our pleasure.
Yeah, so we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to produce a couple short video segments and talk about a couple different metals that are in this vast asset portfolio of EMX Royalties. But let's start out with gold, because gold is obviously the topic of 2019.
Yeah.
So
love gold.
We've seen a little bit of a consolidation in the spot price of gold in recent weeks. A lot of analysts think it can come down even further, maybe even test that 1480, 1450 range. But because of economic numbers we've had here in the United States, we saw definitely a rebound in the gold price in the last couple of days. We will see what happens with the rest of the year. But I know that you follow these metals. Obviously, you have to. That's part of the business and part of you as not only the CEO of the company but also an investor yourself. What's your current analysis of the gold price and the gold movement right now?
Yeah, people ask me this question a lot, and you may not like my answer, but the short-term aberrations in the gold price are really not of consequence to us. Long-term, we're bullish gold. We think it's a fantastic commodity to be exposed to for a whole myriad of different reasons. And long-term, we're bullish gold. Short-term, there's lots of reasons for the price to bump up and down. Let's not forget that just a little while ago, it was $1,200 an ounce. It was even knocking on $1,100 for a little while. So the whole industry is exuberant to see the price $1,500 or above. At the Precious Metal Summit in Beaver Creek, I had an analyst with Canaccord say, well, what's your opinion about the gold price? And I said, well, and everybody that he asked said, oh, I think it's going higher, I think it's going higher. And I said, well, I don't know, feels overbought to me. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a pullback. And you could tell that's not what he wanted me to say. But that is what happened. We did have a little bit of a pullback. But as I said, short-term aberrations are not germane to our business. Our business is to acquire more prospective mineral rights. We love gold.
Yeah. I want to ask you about owning physical gold for the lay person. Is that something in conversations you have with friends, family, and acquaintances and colleagues, when it comes up to having the conversation about the business? Or are you a proponent of everybody owning some sort of physical precious metal such as gold and silver?
I absolutely am. Yes. And the old adage that a few percent of your portfolio should be in physical metal, and my recommendation is to actually take physical delivery. And I think that's the most efficient way to store your gold, is to store it yourself.
Great.
And I own a lot of gold. Yeah, I think it's a good commodity to be exposed to. Absolutely.
Well, that's another conversation for another day. But I do want to turn it back to the gold itself. Now, you have a number of different royalty assets in your portfolio here at EMX. One that really sticks out, well, there's actually two. Obviously, the Leadville project in Nevada with Nevada Gold Mines. I mean, that helps EMX pay the bills every month, obviously. We're going to talk about that in a separate video, but I actually want to talk to you about the Good Pasture properties that you have royalty assets on in Alaska. And I'm looking at the picture here, and you don't need to really be a rocket scientist to figure this out, but you have royalties basically that surrounds the Pogo area. Surrounds it.
Absolutely.
And so give us a little bit of an insight of what the Pogo mine has produced thus far and where the exploration potential is.
Past production is a multi-million ounce producer with multiple millions of ounces still in the ground at the Pogo deposit itself proper. But here's some of the important thing. It's an economic geologic style of mineralization, gold mineralization associated with reduced granitoid intrusions. Those types of systems tend to have legs. They tend to have excellent exploration upside. And as the district is torn apart and as greater infrastructure is established, more roads in, mills being built, etc., that's continuing to increase the viability for new discovery and the economics of those discoveries to come in and be favorable. So we love this style of mineralization. We had the opportunity to astoundingly quickly become a large royalty holder in the district. And I believe the footprint is 233,000 acre percent. So that's percent royalty multiply the number of acres that we hold. So 233,000 acre percent, which is 7 or 8% of the acre percent royalties we have in the entire portfolio in the world. And we were able to get those very, very quickly, taking advantage of a downturn in the market and we obtained those at quite reasonable pricing.
And those deals were done with a combination working with, I think it was two new partners, Millrock and Corvus. Is
That's
that correct?
correct, yes.
Okay.
And both were blended deals where we bought their equity to show support for their companies. So particularly, we're interested in maintaining our equity position in Millrock. We think that's a very well-run prospect generator. We're happy to come in at a time when they needed some money to be able to stake these opportunities and participate in corporate equity investment in Millrock, in addition to getting the royalty footprint at Good Pasture. That was a win-win deal. We're very happy. And then a similar deal with Corvus. They needed money to advance their nice discovery that they have at Bullfrog. We bought their stock above market, and part of the deal is we got their royalties in the Good Pasture District, which was a non-core asset for them. So this all worked out to everyone's advantage, and now we have 233,000 acre percent.
So one last question, is the Pogo Royalties, is that your favorite gold property in your portfolio, or do you have another one?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, okay.
No.
What's another one?
Well, you can't argue with Leeville.
Sure.
Yeah, and Leeville's paying roughly $1.5 million a year right now, and the results that are emanating from there just continue to look fantastic. And with Nevada Gold Mines having just taken over operation of Leeville Mine, they came out with a robust announcement in their last analyst deck for the tour that happened after Denver Gold that showed fantastic upside on our ground.
We are going to save that conversation for another video, so please be sure to link over to that and watch that as well, because we will talk about Leeville here in another episode. Thanks so much. We're going to move on to a couple other metals here. Just go on and find that here on the EMX page, and we'll chat with you about that soon. Thank you.
Thank you.